How's it going, everybody? The Seer here, and as you see behind me, I have a picture of the Thunderbolts. Now, why is that? It looks like we're going to be having another fan-voted team coming to Marvel Strike Force. Just like we did with the Night Stalkers team, we're going to have a lot of the same things happen, but it's going to be with the Thunderbolts. Now, I have a lot of evidence to basically say it's going to be the Thunderbolts and who some of the characters could be that we could be voting on. Now, let's get started on this. We can kind of look at the cookie trail to see what's going on here. So here we do have a dossier from Nick Fury. The President of the United States has secured a large shipment of adamantine from Ares, the god of war. While the details of the deal are confidential, it's imperative that we act quickly to decide how and where to use this magic metal. Several programs have been pitched and 3 have stood out. We need your help to make the final call on who will lead the program and give us the best case of this adamantine. So for the adamantine, our tests have concluded what Hercules has been saying for years. I just name dropped Hercules. I don't know about you guys, but if we can get Hercules in the game and we have Ares right now, I would be so happy if we can get Hercules in this game because that'd be so cool. So this mystical metal is indestructible and has magical properties that we can utilize in weaponry. Our first action must be identifying who we want to lead the program and utilize this adamantine. One key aspect that we've discovered is that if this metal is used to reinforce the skeletal structure of a human body, it will not reject nor be slowly poisoned by the metal, unlike adamantium. So adamantine and adamantium are 2 different things, as you guys noticed. So the adamantium, which has been known to have side effects, our plan is not to create another indestructible person like Wolverine, but to add a resilience to the program leader. Now, there's going to be 3 people that we're going to be able to vote on here. There's going to be Justin Hammer. He was in the Iron Man movies. He was like a big showman, kind of Tony Stark's rival in a sense. There's going to be Senator Robert Kelly. He's from the X-Men movies, to where he is kind of against the mutants' rights and everything, and then kind of turned over to where he's more for mutant rights. He kind of had that character arc in there. The other person's going to be Victoria Hand. I'm not as familiar with her. I know she was in like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show and everything. She was like a director of that. But here it says that she was a former director of Hammer, which I'm not familiar with that side of her. So let's go ahead and read these. So for Justin Hammer, the military contractor with years of experience crafting some of the best weapons money can buy. He plans to build an armored suit utilizing the adamantine, with Tony Stark currently occupied with strike missions. Justin Hammer is a fine replacement. Now for Robert Kelly, Senator Robert Kelly has worked with Sentinel tech throughout his career. AI-controlled Sentinels have proven untrustworthy, and they often turn on their creators. Kelly's plan details that he completely controls the Sentinel tech integrated into his body, so that the human brain remains at the helm versus the mind of the machine. So that's kind of interesting. Victoria Hand, the former director of Hammer, would prefer to use the metal in some more clandestine missions. Project Aegis, which is adamantine enhanced group of international spies, will outfit agents with adamantine weapons and utilize stealth and intelligence to combat threats to Strike. As Strike Commander, your feedback is critical in determining the direction of the usage of the adamantine. Be on the lookout for upcoming vote to determine which program we want to go forward with, which is going to be one of these 3. And prepare to vote on which new team members and which Strike veterans should fill out the team. This is telling us 3 things right here. We're going to vote on one of these 3 characters that's going to join the game, which we're going to look at their files that they sent over to us. We're going to be able to vote on which new team members are coming to the game, which are going to be Thunderbolts that you're going to see as far as the subject matter on here. And we're going to be able to vote on the veterans. Now for the veteran votes, there's going to be 2 winners that we're going to be able to vote on. There's going to be a pool of characters. We're going to look at what options there could be for the Thunderbolts. I think the more realistic is going to be for it to coincide with the Thunderbolts movie, because that's coming out in May. Usually it's going to take about 6 months for them to go from this point to the release of the character. So there looks like they're going to be trying to get this to land with the Thunderbolts movie So if we kind of look at the cast, we can kind of do a breakdown there and look at some of the past members of the Thunderbolts to really dig into the roster. So we're going to be doing that later in this video. First, let's go ahead and take a look to see who could be one of the 3 members. So I'm going to put my head away here so we can really look at the files. So here we have Victoria Hand. One of the funny things is that they redacted her weight, which I find hilarious. You're going to see where it says subject is Thunderbolts. So we know this is going to be a Thunderbolts team based off the subject here. Commander, I believe that Project Aegis, Adamantine Enhanced Group by International Spies, is the next step in interdimensional espionage. By outfitting SHIELD agents with the Adamantine forged gear that I've outlined here, we can proactively infiltrate and eliminate threats from any world, anytime, all under the radar. We can be the ultimate arbiters of justice. Trust in the institution, trust in Aegis. So if we look at some of the stuff on here, there's going to be a spy briefcase that's going to be made with Adamantine. There's going to be some guns right here, and it looks like you can combine the guns to make one super gun. There's also going to be a clawed glove, it says on here, along with an adaptive suit. There's going to be a mask with glasses. And on the right-hand side, you see where it says Adamantine Gauntlet, able to fire adamantine blades as well as incorporated hidden retractable adamantine blades. So she has a pretty interesting suit that she could end up wearing. It's going to be blades, more espionage, spy base. I think that's really cool and really different. The issue I find is that people aren't really attached to her as a character because she hasn't really been in the movies like Robert Kelly in the X-Men movies, Justin Hammer being in the Iron Man movies. So that's kind of a downfall for her, but she has a really cool use that they could be using in the game. Now, if we look at the next person on here, we're going to see Justin Hammer. I'm going to put my head away again. So for Justin Hammer, again, it's going to say the subject is Thunderbolts. All 3 of these files are going to say that. Now, they put his personality in here, which I find hilarious. Commander, baby, listen, I hear you've got your hands on some sweet, sweet adamantine, and let me tell you, Papa Hammer is here to help. I attached some schematics for a new suit of power armor that, if we forge it out of the adamantine, will make Tony Stark's look like something from a helicarrier gift shop. Who's going to pilot it? Don't worry your little head about it. I've got a plan for that too. That's my little Justin Hammer impersonation there. So he's going to have a heavy minigun, adamantine bullets, and if you look at the suit on here, you do see he's going to have 2 of the machine guns on the backside of it, kind of like Rhodey did. He also has the adamantine whiplash from the Iron Man 2 movie with Whiplash the villain. Now on the gauntlet portion, you see that little bullet down there. That's the ex-wife from the Iron Man 2 movie. I find that hilarious. They actually put the ex-wife in here. I kind of want him in the game because of the dancing, the showmanship, and the ex-wife. Having that in the game, I think that would be really cool. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 3rd file on here. So here we have Senator Robert Kelly. Subject is Thunderbolts again. Commander, as a senator, I've sponsored many cutting-edge Sentinel programs to keep the American people safe from the growing mutant threat. But the problem with those programs was relying on artificial intelligence with little safeguards in place. With your help, we can finally fix this flaw by putting a human mind behind a fusion of Sentinel tech and adamantine. So I find that kind of interesting and different. We already have some power armor characters in the game with like all the Iron Man suits, the War Machine and everything. We just got a Sentinel in the game. This one here is a human Sentinel hybrid type of thing, which I find really interesting. Now here it says there's going to be like a drone that he's going to have. Looks like he's going to have that rocket RPG. He's going to have thrusters. He's going to have boosters on his legs. So he has some really interesting tech that they ended up putting into the suit, which I find really fascinating. I'm not sure who I'm going to vote for yet. I am leaning more towards Justin Hammer, because if we go back to him, if you watched the Iron Man 2 movie, when Whiplash is making all this drones, you can see that the head they have on the drone is the same head that would be on this suit. So they really incorporated a lot of cool things on here. Having it where it would be a Victoria hand though, this is really unique as well. So they did a really good job as far as like trying to make each one of these things very different. So I'm really curious how the community is going to end up voting for this. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the browser that I have right here. So as far as the history of the Thunderbolts, if we look at the former leaders, there was Hawkeye, formerly US Agent, we have Taskmaster, Helmut Zemo, Winter Soldier, Luke Cage. All of these are kind of in the game. Helmut Zemo's, I believe, different than Baron Zemo, who we currently have though. Black Widow's actually Yelena. Songbird, she is somebody different actually. I was thinking that she might have been Mockingbird. Mockingbird, Songbird's different. Moonstone is in the game. Current members, America Chavez. We have Hawkeye again. We have Power Man, which is Luke Cage. Spectrum, which is Photon. So if we end up looking in the game, so right here, these are the characters that I'm kind of thinking we could end up voting on. So Photon is Spectrum. Red Hulk is General Thunderbolt Ross. You can't really have the Thunderbolts without Red Hulk. So I'm curious if they're going to end up using him as an option. And he is going to be in that new Captain America 4 movie. We have Moonstone, who is on the list. As far as we have Baron Zemo, who's on the list, America Chavez, Luke Cage, who's also Power Man, Yelena's the Black Widow that's mentioned, and Hawkeye. Now, if we strictly go off of the movie that's coming, we're going to have Taskmaster, US Agent, Winter Soldier, Red Guardian, Ghost, and Yelena. Now, the interesting thing is in the Thunderbolts movie, Sentry is also going to be in it. I believe he's going to be one of the main villains that, or hero guys, that the Thunderbolts are going after. So to me, if they go with the movie route, which it definitely looks like, it's possible one of the new characters coming to this team is going to be Sentry, which I would love that to happen. Now, if they go with the movie route, I think having Red Guardian have that pre-taunt with the new stats would be pretty powerful. However, I think people forgot how good Ghost was when she was in the game. For basic, she ended up doing that reduced speed bar. The special right here, she's had a short cooldown, apply the 2 random negative effects on here, had a very high focus as well. The ultimate was very dangerous. It stole 15% health. And then with the passive, it had that innate dodge ability with the counter attack on there. If she got the new stat rework, that could be very dangerous if Ghost is going to be one of those options that we could vote for. Yelena, she had a very high damage stat. I didn't really use the skill military team as often. Red Guardian had a good kit where he's able to do the pre-taunt, the healing. Winter Soldier, he just got that rework for the Rebirth team, and outside of raids, I don't think he was really that great. Taskmaster, he's used on that Underworld team. I don't know if they'd want to break him off of that team. Same with Red Hulk. He's on that Gamma team. Do they want to break up the Gamma team and have that option? So there's a lot of interesting ways they could go about this Thunderbolts team. US Agent, too many of his abilities were locked in raids. Outside of raids, he was really not good at all. They just locked his kit too much in there. Now, if they end up going with the comic route of this, Photon having her go off the Secret Defenders just after Doctor Strange got that rework and he's basically off it, I don't know if they want to break up the Secret Defenders team. Moonstone being an old member on that Masters of Evil team, they kind of have Kang mainly being with the Cabal team now. Do they want to break up more of the Masters of Evil team? That I honestly don't know. Baron Zemo, I would love him to get a rework. He has such a cool kit with how fast he is, the ability blocks. He could be really interesting if they give us the option to do the rework for him. America Chavez, what she could do on ward defense, filling that speed bar by 25% is just fantastic. If she can get a rework, she'd be very powerful, and I would like that. Luke Cage, he's on that Heroes for Hire team, which basically is kind of a dead team right now. They'd have to do a lot of facelift to really make him with that new meta stats. Hawkeye, Dorky Dad will love this if this ends up happening to where they can end up using him. Having it to where his special reduces turn meter on a pretty fast character, because his speed is 131. He's very fast. Being able to do a turn meter rewind, Dorky Dad would love it if they end up doing a rework to Hawkeye. But let me know in the comments, who do you think's going to be in the pool that we could actually vote on? Because it looks like there's going to be 2 characters that's going to be getting that rework. We're only going to be able to vote for 1 character, and the top 2's going to win, which I find pretty interesting, so that we can't really double up saying, I want to vote on Red Hulk and Ghost. Well, you can only pick one or the other type of thing. So I'm really curious how the community is going to end up voting for one of those 3 characters joining the Thunderbolts, who gets the reworks and who joins it. I really hope Sentry's coming to the game and he joins this team. That would be a very cool thing that I'd look forward to, especially on how the Night Stalkers was so successful as a fan vote team. Let me know in the comments, though, who you guys are looking forward to, if you're looking forward to the movie and everything. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, have a wonderful rest of the day.